We're starting our last day in Volgograd. Tomorrow we actually get on the plane and head back home. And we've had a late morning and we're all kind of tired, and it's kind of rainy and icky outside too, so not really sure what to do today. Typical breakfast. Katie's looks the best with her Russian pancakes. It is one wet day and we're just trying to stay dry. We just finally went out and it's after 11. We're walking through the park, trying to stay dry by these trees. Anders' feet are all wet, so are mine. It's really the first day that it's rained where just consistently rained. We've had other days where it's been really big downpour, but then it just went away within a few minutes. This is the candy shop that we came to yesterday. We came back to today. Leave the hotel for the second time today. The first time was an epic fail, with all of us getting absolutely drenched wet and spending hours drying our clothes because we're leaving at like 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And kids aren't up to coming out. We'll see what we can see tonight.
So one of my likes about Russia is I really like the people. I thought they were really nice and friendly and helpful.
So one of my likes about Russia was how inexpensive it was. It wasn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. The food wasn't that bad. The pop wasn't that expensive. And the taxi rides were much less expensive than I thought they would be, especially compared to how expensive it is in the United States. The thing that we don't like about Russia is the paid toilets. You always have to have money, obviously, since we're a paid toilet, but they smell. The lady is often grumpy. They don't keep them clean, and if you don't have cash on it, you're out of luck for going to the bathroom. And sometimes they don't have toilet rings on them to sit on, or they have pee all over them.
One of my other likes about this country is their history and the effort they put into remembering it with memorials, plaques. It's been a very tumultuous and diverse history, and hearing both sides of it, I have found very interesting and educational. I just like how important they feel their history is.
Another one of my likes is the crosswalks. The white and yellow ones you see is where people walk through, and people always stop if they don't have a stoplight and it's just an open crosswalk. They stop for you when they're driving. And if they have a crosswalk sign like that green blinking one over there, it tells you how long you have to wait if it's red until it's going to turn green, and it tells you how long you have until it's going to turn red when it is green. So it's just a really convenient way of people crossing the street, and it's a safe way.
Hey, one of my other dislikes about Russia is the driving. They're nuts. They have no space between cars. If they see a spot, they just dive over.
Even if they don't see a space, they still dive over?
Yeah, but the odd thing is, since we've been here, all the time we've been here, we've only seen 2 accidents. That's it. So they definitely pay more attention than Americans do. But they're driving, it's just kind of crazy. Oh, it's another thing too is they don't ever yell or flip each other off. If they cut them off, whatever, they give them a little beep or whatever. Like you don't see them looking there, constantly screaming at people when they cut them off.
So another one of my dislikes about Russia is when it rains. There's the gutter system off of the houses just empties onto the sidewalks, which goes right into the streets, and then you end up having these big, huge puddles and inches of water that you have to walk through when it's raining, and you just get sopping wet. These are typical Russian sidewalks. They don't really have gutters, and so all the water just runs right out into the street, and you have to walk through these huge puddles.
Our dislikes about Russia was the food. It's not the food was terrible, but since we both have to eat vegan, really finding vegan dishes was hard. Even though they try to help you, they took vegan to be vegetarian. So they were always trying to get us fish soup or something, and then when we did find vegan stuff, it was really drenched in oil, and we don't like a lot of oil on our stuff. But so that was another dislike. Well, my last dislike is the stereotypes or the myths that you hear in America. Don't go to Russia, it's not safe. There's lots of crime. They hate Americans, and
They're unfriendly.
They're all poor and broke, and man,
they never smile.
Yeah, they never smile. And this park here, if you're walking down it, you can see these people. They're out, they're having fun. Their unemployment rate's 7% right now. That's higher in the U.S., but that's not terrible. They're happy. You see them having fun. They love their country, as they should, just like we love our country.
They're friendly.
They've been friendly to us. They like us. They're like, we wish more Americans would come. It's safe. That's one of the top things they say that Putin's done for this country is there's police everywhere. The police are not corrupt. I've been walking alongside police lots of times. They haven't looked at me twice. They've heard me speak English. There's security. All the stores, all the motels have security. It's all safe. I was reading that like Chicago and New York are like 20 times more dangerous than most places in Russia are. It's a very safe country to come to,
And it's actually the first country we've let our kids walk back to the hotel by themselves. And we haven't done that in France or even Germany. It's just, it feels safer than it does actually at home.
you have no fears coming here. You'll be perfectly safe, and people will help you. Even if you don't speak the language, they'll try really hard to meet your needs. So that all that's a myth.
So, a few things I liked about Russia were just how the people were. They were very nice, very helpful, and very interesting people. And it's kind of they're not really how like the United States kind of depicts them as, rude or whatever, and all praising Putin or whatever. Another thing I liked was the food. How the food was actually really good, and it was also really cheap. It's just like American food. But I also liked the history around Russia, and I liked another thing I liked was the security. All security was kind of like just like the going through a United States airport with all the like checking bags and stuff. But it was much faster and way easier than going through the United States airport. But some things I didn't like was the rain. Like it did today, it rained really hard and just sucked. And another thing I hated was some of the food had a lot of herbs on it, which just made the food taste really gross.
Alright, so the three things that I did not enjoy about Russia is that it's a lot harder to get around and communicate with people than it has been in some of the other countries we visited. Just because they have a different alphabet, so sometimes in other countries you would recognize the better part of a word and be able to guess what it was. But here, it's a lot harder to do that unless you familiarize yourself with the alphabet first, which I did not do, so that's probably more on me. And then sometimes it's been really difficult to find vegetarian or vegan options. Thankfully, I do eat fish. I'm pescatarian, so it was easier for me, but it was kind of a struggle for my mom and dad to eat, so that was a little bit difficult to deal with. And then driving was definitely a little bit stressful just because people drive differently here. There were definitely a few times where the taxi driver was going a little fast and being a little crazy, and I held on to the little handrail near my seat, but we were always fine. I feel like they know what they're doing. They're used to driving around here, so it's okay for them, but it can be a shock to get used to. So the three things that I really enjoyed about Russia is that the people were actually very kind and very willing to help. Everyone kind of tried to scare us when we were going to Russia, and they're like, oh, why would you go there now? The people don't like Americans. You're gonna have a really hard time. But I never felt that. When we went to France, actually, is when I felt the most kind of out of place. But here I felt very welcomed by everyone. Even people who didn't really speak that much English would try and come up and help us if we looked confused, which was very kind of them. We actually had a lot of people that would reach out and be like, oh, do you need any help? Which was so sweet. And then I also felt really safe in all the cities. There wasn't a single neighborhood that we went through where I really felt uncomfortable or like I was unsafe. The only thing that was a little unnerving is they do have a lot of heavily armed officers here, which, you know, in the United States they might have like a handgun or something, but here they do have bigger weapons. But we're used to that. I definitely saw that in France a lot, so it wasn't anything new. They never bugged us or tried to scare us or anything like that, so it really isn't anything to worry about. And the last thing that I really enjoyed about Russia is there's a lot of things to do. And if you have a family and want to bring a family to Russia, there will be something for everyone. There was a lot of art history, which I personally really enjoyed, my dad really enjoys. There was a lot of military history here in Volgograd, which Andrew enjoyed a lot, and my mom and dad both enjoyed that as well. I did too, but it's just not usually my cup of tea. And there's a lot of old churches and cathedrals if you're really into religious history. There was also a lot of really cool markets to explore, which honestly, this is the first place who has had very interesting markets that I wanted to go back to. So yeah, there's definitely something for everyone, and you could bring a group of people here and have everyone be satisfied with what they saw.